welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today. The trusted choice for interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday, and previewing and reviewing the latest shows from WWE, AEW, New Japan, and everything in between every Saturday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy. I'm, of course, your host, James Shea, alongside Kaliko Yachts.
Unlike live shows on Netflix, we will not be glitching this show.
Anything could happen with Wrestling With. You never know these connections when you decide to drop out, when I just drop in, audio, YouTube,
Watch I
wildfires.
glitch like 30 times. I'm going to glitch 30 times. Wildfires, yep. All the people in the Cali area, please, man, be safe. Hope everybody's safe. Hope this can get y'all through. You know, I know how it feels. Nuts.
Yeah. And for anybody that knows, I live in Los Angeles in California, so was very close to these fires, but luckily I'm safe as well. My hearts go out to those who lost everything, and to the few unfortunate that lost their lives as well. Definitely thoughts and prayers go out to them.
Oh yeah.
But we were able to get in a couple of great interviews during the week. On Tuesday was Nigel San Jose. Fantastic individual, a fantastic human being. Great conversation with him. And Roxy last Wednesday, another incredible interview. Cannot recommend those interviews enough. Obviously, both of them are really new in their careers, so they only got up to go. That brings us to this upcoming Tuesday and Wednesday. We got Emmy Helen, the Nordic Warrior from Finland. We talk about his tag team with Dylan Broda, friend of the show, rivalry with Arthur Ardor, teaming with Stark Adler, and a hell of a lot more. You definitely want to check that one out. And this upcoming Wednesday, we have Nikki Foxley from Germany, of all places. We talk about her tag team partner wrestling for WXW, wrestling in the pandemic. What does the Foxley say? Tank Girl anime, and a hell of a lot more. Foxley, great individual, great human being. I think everybody would really love our conversation that we had. But don't take my word for it. Here's a clip now. That being said, what does the fox say?
Ring ding 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 ding. I tell you, when this song came out, it was like a curse. Everyone screamed it at me at the ring.
I can imagine.
Oh, well.
It was a very catchy song at the time.
Yeah, but it's my own fault because I used Fox on the Run for my entrance song and stuff like that. So I tried to lean into it, but at one point I just couldn't hear it anymore. I'm so glad it is over.
Alright, and then on the 21st we have Bashley Bones, and on the 22nd we have Landon Hale. Alright, I think we're done putting ourselves over, no?
We're never done putting ourselves over. Who are we kidding?
Right. Well, it is a great day for us because we're wrestling with the news. And for anybody that doesn't know what the structure of our show is going to be, we're going to be doing the news, Wrestle Kingdom 19, Wrestle Dynasty, and Monday Night Raw debut on Netflix. So a lot of content for the show, so strap in. A big news piece article that came out this week, ironically enough, on the January 6th Raw, was that the Royal Rumble 2026 will be in Saudi Arabia. What the actual fuck?
Okay. I told you. I what did I say? Usually that news don't come out of its ass.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, that just doesn't pop out of nowhere. That's, it's interesting in the sense, I guess they're testing this international market. I already told you, like, USA, man, when they saw the receptions and the gates that they got for these overseas pay-per-views, I was like, yep, it's about to change. I didn't think it was going to be the big four not being in the States changing, but shit.
Yeah.
Oh, and behold, WWE said, hold my beer, bitch. Yeah, but it's interesting. I already got texts from people who are like, hey, are we going? Which, I mean, that would be cool. I mean, the Royal Rumble and overseas.
You know.
And I guess, and I think I think they're breaking two birds with a stone because they always feel like they're obligated to go, and they're like, if I'm gonna get it out the way, get it out the way at the beginning of the year.
Right. I kind of get that, but I kind of feel like this wasn't because the international shows were doing so well. This was Saudi saying we want something, give us something. And I know, I mean we all watch the PLEs, but the PLEs they're not exactly in Saudi Arabia, they're not exactly popping off, if I'm being honest. I mean, like, the crowds aren't necessarily, France or Germany. I mean, they're it's only because
Modest at best. I mean, I get it. Keep going.
no, I'm just saying it's just because Saudi Arabia, the the government body wants them. And I mean, yeah, the crowd likes them, but they're not giving them the reactions that the other places have been giving them. And I mean, Saudi Arabia gets them like two, maybe three times a year, so they are a little bit more spoiled than other places in the world at this place.
I I completely agree to an extent because the reason I say agree to an extent is simply because they have a crowd. The problem is that the culture is way different than a France, a Germany, so on and so forth. Like, prime example, if you're going over there, more than likely you're not drinking at the event because drinking is not really a thing that's over there in the Middle East, right?
Right.
Um, um, it's more, how can I say it without trying to offend people? They're more rooted in their cult, and not trying to say, they're more rooted in the culture of their religion than most countries are, right?
Yeah.
So that's the biggest factor. Plus they have the money to do it. I mean, I don't think they must have put up some cash for it. And that kind of is interesting because now that goes, okay, if they're getting it next year, then is King and Queen of the Ring still? Because keep in mind, they went twice last year.
Yes.
And
For King of the Ring and Crown Jewel.
Yep. So it's like, okay, is that taking place instead of Crown Jewel? Is that taking place instead of King and Queen of the Ring? Right?
Right.
And the only way we'll know that is the way that they lay out that we won't know that until we get to that bridge in 2026. Unless that is leaning to me, London getting a Mania.
I think we were getting there anyway. Um,
I think we're getting there, but I think this is just one of those things where it's like, do Royal Rumble overseas, Mania in London, and then the next year they come right back to Nashville, because Nashville's already slated.
because didn't they make a new arena?
Yeah, the new arena's in the process, so they're slated. They already been slated, so they're slated when that's done. So it gives them 2 years to toy around with everything else, and then Indianapolis still gets a SummerSlam and I think a SummerSlam and a Mania. I'm not sure. I know they're slated for one or two more of those pay-per-views.
And
Minnesota get their 2-night. Jersey got their. See, that's the other thing too. 2026. Minnesota gets their 2-nighter. Jersey gets theirs this year. Yeah, it's gonna be nuts. And it's like you're trying to fill in the dates on these things, and some of these things have already been planned, and then you got to factor in the other deals that they got with them. So yeah, but Saudi Arabia for the Rumble, man, that's gonna be the most sober Royal Rumble you ever been to. Boy, I hope you get your drinking done before, cause boy, you ain't going nowhere in that thing. Drunk. When I say get drunk off Capri Suns, you might be getting drunk off Capri Suns in that joint.
I don't. They could have did something better, and I think that it already seems like a lot of negative presses came out of them announcing it in Saudi Arabia. But
Well,
obviously,
if you look at what the tickets are doing for Indianapolis, it's like I'm looking like because no one's coming to Indianapolis in February. Like that's a bitch. It's a bitch. Like you asking to go to Naptown in February? That's cold as fuck.
you know, I I think that they should have kept the international paid PLEs, I should say, at the ones that aren't the big four. But and I don't. And if you were going to do it somewhere, an international big four, I don't think Saudi Arabia was the place to do it. That's just my opinion.
I mean, it shocked the shit out of me, but I already saw it coming. It was like,
Yeah, but I mean, the
uh,
one thing about the PLEs is a lot of people do travel international, but I don't. I'm not hearing like a lot of people are clamoring or go to Saudi Arabia. You know what I mean?
because like I said, it is a very strict country. That country's strict as shit.
Right. Not to mention
So
it
it's
is
not
in the
as
middle of a well, it's not in the middle, but it's right next to where a major war is going on as well. So
I mean, you can factor that in. I just look at it from the standpoint of that is not a destination where it's as seamless to be in, right? Like Japan seamless. Here to Japan seamless. Here to Europe seamless. Hell, even here to certain places, major cities seamless. That's not seamless. It's seamless in travel, not seamless in what's that word I'm looking for? Culture.
right.
Because you just can't walk around and drink all day. Or you can't, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's a lot of things that are, so, I mean, it's just getting used to that. And once you get used to that, you'll be okay.
I
But it would be nice to see what it's about. Get one of them little big ass, what's those called? Those little big ass front row seats, because they front row seats are like couches. So
they
shit.
was, but I don't think they are anymore. I mean, for the first
Oh,
one it
god
was.
damn it. I would love to be in one of them hoes.
Okay, Kaliko, if you
But
bought
once
front
again,
row,
can't
you're
get bottle service.
you're not even getting a sofa with your ticket. You can't take that home with you. You do realize that.
I mean, who said well, I can't because if I take it, they'll chop my arm off, and I ain't trying. You see what I'm saying? Like, I know the rules. Fuck that. Get my what's it? Not Farsi. Yeah, get my Farsi on. Shit, get my Farsi Duolingo on. That's good.
With that, Royal Rumble will be in Saudi Arabia in 2026. Uh, they also announced SummerSlam and Survivor Series. SummerSlam will be taking place in Russia, and Survivor Series will be taking place in North Korea. So, good for those
Boy,
people.
they're not touching North Korea with a fucking pole, but that's all. Boy, nah, hell no. You ain't going over there. Yeah.
As Vince McMahon would often say, anything could happen in the WWE.
Oh, speaking of which, he got off on charges.
Yeah, Vince McMahon slipping out of things that he committed or may have not committed, depending on who you
Yeah,
ask.
slip, you know, right? Like slipping out of darkness, slipping out of dark.
Well, speaking of slipping out of darkness, NXT drew their highest numbers since 2019, and the biggest crowd they drew for the CW as well. That show featured The Rock on it. Not to mention just a straight up banger of a card as well. So, congratulations to them.
Yeah, four words: women's division matches shown. Because man, that's basically what it was.
Yeah. Um, I I bought a ticket for Oberfemi. I went because of Lola Vice.
Really?
Yes.
Not the core?
Vakor came out. I forgot who was in the match, and I was like, okay, I'll go for Vakor,
Lola Vice.
and then Lola Vice came out, and I was like, fuck it, yeah, Lola. I'm going with Lola. Yeah. Um.
I mean, it's some changing going around now.
What?
Yeah, some changing going around there in NXT.
I mean, big changes. Oba is now the NXT champion, and Julia is the women's champion. So
And if you don't think Vicorg about to beat that ass, you got another thing coming.
I mean, why would ta- why would they put the belt on Julia just to drop it to Vakora, right afterwards?
Oh no! Vicor's the number one contender for the other title.
Okay, yes, you're right. Yeah,
She's the number one contender for the women's North American Championship.
that's right. So, yeah. Um, I mean, obviously they got a little bit boost with The Rock being on the show, but do you see actually maybe maintaining some of this audience that they got? I mean, they packed it with enough cake for years, I'd say.
As long as they keep packing it with cake, people will keep coming to the bakery shop.
This is I agree with this. Um, speaking of if there was ever such a thing, too much cake. SmackDown is 3 hours now, as we all know. Um, but it's only going to be for 6 months. Um, for starting, I believe in June, if I'm not mistaken. It's gonna go back to 2 hours. Um, I'm kind of my head is kind of all jumbled and mixed up with all of these changes and differences. So, okay, so the last couple of months, I get it. Transition period. Raw went to 2 hours because they didn't have a home. SmackDown was on USA. NXT transitioned um, to
CW.
CW. After out of freaking nowhere, SmackDown decided to be 3 hours. Okay, whatever. But now they're saying, SmackDown's going to be 2 hours in 6 months, and I don't, I don't necessarily like that. I like everything to kind of be status quo, and it just kind of feels like every 6 months to a year, things are transitioning and changing with WWE. There needs to be, some constant and not all these variables. You know what I mean?
Do you really? I can give you the backstory. So, what it sounds like was, okay, when Raw was doing the deal, when Raw was doing the deal with USA, that's when they did the 3 hours. But then they had with SmackDown for Fox. But then remember that was 2 hours. But then they left Fox, went back to USA, and then that's when it became 2 hours. But keep in mind, USA still got a goddamn contract that was including Raw that was for 3 hours up until they went to Netflix. So when they went to Netflix, the Raw was like, okay, we're going to go there, but then we'll fulfill the 3 hour block from Raw with SmackDown. So now SmackDown is 3 hours until they try to renew the contract with Peacock and USA on that shit. Does that make sense?
In a very convoluted way? Yes.
Because honestly, that's basically what it was. They gave that 3rd hour to SmackDown to circumvent losing the, you know what I'm saying, the 3 hours of Raw,
No,
and then there until they can renegotiate a deal.
I really hope that after June we don't have to hear about this show is going to 2 hours, this show is going to 3 hours, this show is going to this channel. I just like
keep in
more
mind,
consistency.
But I think other than Netflix, all these other shows were under one parent channel umbrella. It wasn't, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it wasn't like, you know what I mean? It was, it wasn't, they did this. And they did this once they became, partners with TKO, because say what you will, UFC is kind of simple. You either got ESPN or you got the UFC channel overseas. Here, it's like, well, in the States, you got this, but then overseas, you got the network, and and you know what I'm saying? And I get that they're doing it to try to make a profit, but it's increasing friction to access it. Now, Netflix, them being on Netflix, that was the easiest, most frictionless transition of it all, due to the fact that everyone can watch it in real time now. But now with them trying to figure out the Peacock part with the USA part with the SmackDown part, Peacock, because do we know if Peacock is still doing PLEs?
That's a good question. I imagine that they're doing at least Royal Rumble.
Because I'm hearing that, I think Netflix, you can still access the library.
On Netflix. No, on Peacock, yeah.
Really? See, so that's what I'm saying. So it's like they're serving, technically, they went from serving two masters to serving roughly like 4 or 5. Because they got to serve Netflix, and then they got to serve NBC Universal, which owns all those channels. Then they got to serve TKO to make sure that they're making a profit. Then they got to serve UFC, because technically they're kind of trying to do these partner deals where it's like if UFC has a fight and WWE's in the same building, just do one big weekend package and shit. So that's something that they tested in Anaheim last year. So just a lot of moving parts to try to be ahead of the curve and things, and it's just making everything as confusing as college football this year. So it's very confusing.
Well, something that also feels confusing as well is Chris Charlton, the English commentator for New Japan Pro Wrestling, is indefinitely suspended for comments he made about Tony Khan during the Kenny Omega Gabriel Kidd match. I know AEW has nothing to do with New Japan, but it kind of seems, pretty severe that they indefinitely suspended him just for, comments.
They kind of do, though. See, that's the problem. AEW kind of do, because they're lending them wrestlers.
I mean, and we'll talk about New Japan in a bit, but they don't necessarily need to be beholden of AEW. I mean, at one point, New Japan was the big company that all the other wrestling companies
was siphoning from.
Yeah. And I mean, that's basically what Chris was talking about. Tony Khan is trying to make success on things that New Japan already made famous. And that he was a money mark. And maybe the money mark comment was a little over the line, but I mean, stop him when he's telling lies. You know what I mean?
It's not about that he's telling lies. It's just the fact that if Kenny Omega, if you didn't have the Bucks and Perry, you see, all these people weren't working with them, because the thing is, New Japan is shit behind closed doors, but they ain't trying to ruffle the boat, if you will.
Yeah.
They're just trying to do business as what's best for them as a company. You know what I mean? So I get it. It's just more like New Japan doesn't want to look that way as a company.
No, I get it. But hopefully Chris will be back in the commentary booth. Honestly, I don't think that they even listen to the American broadcasters, but hey, I digress.
I mean, they pay attention to all that shit.
Well, I mean, if WWE is anything to, if you have anything to go by, WWE doesn't know what their Spanish announcers are saying.
Let's not go there. I mean, but they know where the table is, and that's all.
Alright, I think that will conclude our coverage of the news. And now a quick word from our sponsors.
So, Rogue Energy, the only gaming drink company in the world with 4 unique product lines to suit your task at hand, whether it be juices, shakes, smoothies, and everything else in between. Their low-calorie, no-sugar energy formula is the perfect alternative to sugar-filled canned energy drinks and sodas. Their extreme formula provides the most energy, focus, and sports performance possible. Their hydration line offers focus, ingredients without the added caffeine. Drink it anytime you're thirsty. And their shake formula is so delicious. Who doesn't love a cookies and cream, 0-calorie energy milkshake? First and foremost, they've designed every Rogue product line with performance and effectiveness in mind. It is critical that you look at the nutrition panels of drinks when comparing options. There are countless off brands out there that are presenting low quality, poorly dosed formulas that amount to expensive caffeine water. Every formula they produce is designed with optimal levels of high quality ingredients. Additionally, you won't find a powdered gaming drink brand that dissolves better. No need to have chalky textures in your drink. Their taste profiles are unmatched. specifically designed for gamers, athletes, students, entrepreneurs, people with hectic schedules, individuals with low energy, podcasters who can't shut up, people who are health conscious, and so much more. Great as both a pre-workout and as a coffee energy drink replacement. Specifically designed every Rogue product line to be the best gaming drink on the planet. Rogue Energy, more focus, more wins.
Use promo code WrestlingWithE for 10% off your next purchase. And we are wrestling with Wrestle Kingdom 19. Took place January 4th, 2025 at the Tokyo Dome in Tokyo, Japan. Attendance was 24,107. Low-key, that's pretty upsetting considering that that's a 70,000 seat arena. But even, at their strongest, at their highest peak, they hit maybe 40,000, 50,000.
True. I mean, they could. I mean, yeah, but keep in mind, it's just changing of the guard. It's a lot of moving parts.
That it definitely is. This is the first time I've watched New Japan in a very long time, and it was okay. I didn't necessarily there wasn't anything that really bothered me, but for some reason I kind of felt like the passion was kind of drawn out of the pro wrestling, and I feel like New Japan's main thing with their pro wrestling was the passion that their wrestlers had when they wrestled. And I don't know why, but it just kind of felt like it was being what's the word? Generic. Like they were trying to make it look passionate, but it wasn't actually passionate. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, because the one thing that we really loved about New Japan was the stories and the way that they would call back these stories. And one of the places where they were able to call back these stories were at Wrestle Kingdom. Usually, Wrestle Kingdom, the G1, these are where the stories kind of get made and they kind of got a callback. Things change though, because keep in mind, usually the Money in the Bank, the Japanese version of the Money in the Bank winner would usually cash in at this point, thus telling a story. But Zack Sabre Jr., good old 50-50 said, fuck waiting, we taking this right now, and they took it right now. So that was one main part of it, right? You also got the other part of it in which some of it seemed predictable in the sense that, like Tanahashi, right? We knew that this year was his final year. Did we really think he was going to lose to fucking Evil?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like it's the little shit like that. You know what I mean? And those things don't tell a story. The only thing that really, really had a story in this match or in that card was Naito and Hiromu.
Very true.
That's the only thing that you actually had a passionate drawback that went to the old way of New Japan. Everything else is really a moving part of itself. So that's why you got to kind of take this year with a grain of salt.
Well, let's get into it. Four-way Tokyo Terror ladder match for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. Ichiban Sweet Boys, Robbie Eagles, Kosuke Fujita defeated Kevin Knight and Kushida, Cats 2/2, TJP and Francisco Akira, and Clark Connors and Drew Maloney, Bullet Club War Dogs, in 13 minutes and 4 seconds. I felt like this match started out pretty hot. It got the people into it. Pretty good match.
Mm-hmm.
And then the botches started happening.
Yep.
And then
And
I was like, okay, that was one botch. Okay, I could forgive one botch. Then there was another botch. Then there was another botch. And then, I mean, I think it was Akira at the very end of the match. Fuchida put Akira in a hold on top of the ladder. And, like, literally, Akira literally put himself in the move. Like, what the, like Fuchida did nothing in that moment but put his arm around his head, and it became hard to watch, if I'm being honest.
I mean, but that's my point. It's keep in mind, people. This is why when people were like, "How come everybody has these house shows?" This is why, so they can work out. You don't want to go in cold turkey because this shit like this could happen. Even to WWE's credit, they practice that shit all week. I'm thinking New Japan probably. I mean, I'm not gonna say that they don't, but it seems more likely that they don't really practice. You know, I mean, I'm gonna say practice, but more like rehearse what's gonna go down.
Yeah.
Or they did and it just didn't go as planned. And if it did, then I'll take that back if it's proven otherwise. But in essence, the match, it went, I mean, I forgot who I picked in this one, really. Did I pick Catch 22? I can't even remember who I picked.
I think I went with Ichiban Sweet Boys.
Yeah, I think you did.
Yeah.
See? I know you went with them. See? At least I knew that much.
Yeah.
But it went just about the way you put about the way it was supposed to go. Other than the botches, it would have been a good match.
It could have. I mean, again, it started off pretty hot, and then it was just one thing after another, unfortunately.
Botch mania. Botch me. Anyway.
Right, because it is the Tokyo Dome, and we, use more stars than we actually need because it's the Tokyo Dome. I give this 20 stars.
Oh gosh, 20 stars?
Mm-hmm.
Really? Even with all the bot? Oh.
I mean, if you're equivalent it to normal star rating, then it was 2 stars.
I guess. I mean, does that mean I have to double my shit?
Yes,
because I'm just letting you know right now. Belter didn't double his shit. I'm just giving you the real right now. You didn't double that shit for 1 minute. So you want to rethink that one?
Yes, but I mean, we're only doubling our rating because, Dave likes to, extend his ratings because, it's the Tokyo Dome and he's extra horny, I don't know.
He only did that for Kenny Omega and the Bucks. Come on. You can do that for everybody else.
Alright, so how many stars you give this one?
3.5. It was good, but the botches just killed it. Just killed it.
Well, you're a lot more generous with that than I thought you were going to be.
Well, I'm not doubling it, so I'm just gonna keep it a buck. Keep it a buck.
You are no fun.
I mean, because if I double mine, then that means I got to double Meltzer's, and you just don't even want to do all that. You know what I'm saying? You just don't want to do it. Well, you could double it, but guess what Meltzer gave it?
2. Um, 1.5.
Hey, man.
2.5.
4 stars.
4 stars?
I told you.
Okay then. Okay, that's
Now,
definitely
now,
a
now
great.
do you now do you see how come you just don't? This is why I'm not. I was like, he ain't doubling that shit. He just kept it true.
Alright. Then we have IWGP Women's Championship match. Mayu Iwatani defeated Ism in 8 minutes and 45 seconds. I felt like there was like a bigger story in this match than I could actually appreciate because I don't watch Stardom. And I feel like these girls did really put their heart and soul into the match. But I mean, there's only so much you could do in roughly 9 minutes. So, I didn't think it was necessarily a bad match, but I don't think I necessarily appreciated it as much as I could have if I actually knew what was
Because
going
it
on.
felt so action packed in a little bit of time, and it didn't. It felt like that they were just beating the hell out of each other more so than telling a story.
Right.
There
Well, I
we
mean,
go. See, I kind
there was a story. I mean, Azam wants to be the new Mayu, and they did convey that on commentary, but still, it was still. I felt the passion, but I feel like if I would have maybe saw the lead up, I would have maybe liked the match a little bit more.
I mean, too. But then again, I mean, keep in mind, but IWGP Women's Championship is roughly 2, 3 years old.
Around that, yeah.
So I mean, they're just getting it started. It's not like you can put this match as like their what's that word, breakthrough point for their division, right? Especially at the Genesis. So I mean, Iwatani won. I can't remember. I think I picked Asm, but Asm gave it a good health, and I'm pretty sure they're going to run that back. And it's going to be interesting how they do it now, because it's like they have a women's division, but they have to kind of stack it.
Right. And I mean, it's not like these
It's,
girls are on every New Japan show as well.
that is the hard part. That is true, and that's the hard part. So you got to stack it, and it ain't helping that Shawn Michaels is personally hoarding all of the women's.
Yes.
He is personally. I don't know what he's doing. It's a personal vendetta to hoard the women's division. But yeah, it did what it was supposed to do. They performed masterfully, given the time that they got. I wish they had got more time than some of these matches, but that's a whole another issue.
Um, I give this 3 stars. It was definitely better than the other match, the ladder match, I'd say.
I mean, I'm gonna give. I gave what? I gave 3.5. I give them a 4 just because of the fact that they didn't botch this shit all the time.
So basically, because it was better than the other one, you're giving it 4.
It was one up just from that. I'm just saying.
Alright, and Meltzer probably gave this 4.5.
Ooh, close.
4.25.
Even still close.
4?
4. That's what I'm saying. He gave this match a 4 right after giving that botch fest a 4. I'm just telling you.
That makes absolutely no sense.
Do you see my point now? Do you see where I'm going with this? Anyway.
Alright, we got a 4-way match for the NJPW World Television Championship. El Fantasmo with Jado defeated Ren Narita, Jeff Corn on a Cob, and Ryohei Iwa with Hartley Jackson in 10 minutes and 1 second. Not a bad match. I literally saw Jeff Cobb do. I believe it was Jeff Cobb doing Tour of the Islands on one of these guys. I looked down for a second, and then El Phantasmo was the champion, and I was like, what the fuck just happened here?
Oh yeah, it literally went just like that. I mean, but El Phantasmo at this point is Juice Robinson, except he won it. He won the title at New Japan. But yeah, he's basically Juice Robinson. He's the face version of Juice Robinson, except he's the champ at the biggest event of the year. So but El Phantasmo, the right guy, won. The crowd was into him. So and considering what's happening, a lot of these gaijins got to get in where they fit in, and a lot of it was going to be the undercard. But El Phantasmo, right person won, got the belt.
I agree.
I think the unpredictability of it was the best part, because every person you felt like every person could have won, and you would have been like, okay.
Right. But
So
that kind of goes with this title as well.
Except when 50-50 had it.
Yeah.
I'm just.
Yeah,
when 50-50 had it, you knew he was for a hot little minute. I'll let you in, but we get to skip that.
Yeah. But we'll get there.
So shit. All right.
I give this 3.
We're in agreement. 3.
All right. You know what? Fuck it. He gave it a 4.
Close.
4 1/4.
No, lower.
3 1/2.
3 3/4. The .75 is undefeated.
You're killing me, Dave. Lumberjack death match. Did not get this death match part of this match. If had Tanahashi lost, he would have retired immediately. Hiroshi Tanahashi defeated Evil in 15 minutes and 7 seconds. Like I said, it wasn't not a bad match, but there was zero passion in it. It was just kind of, we need Tanahashi on the card. Evil's available. He takes L's easily. Let's make this match a thing. You know what I mean? And the finish came out of nowhere as well. It was kind of low key, a little lazy booking, if I'm being honest. The finish.
Well, me personally, I was under the impression I knew good and damn well who was going to win this match, and it was just a matter of how you were going to get there.
Right.
So to me, the match lost its luster because there was no suspense. That even though in the match it may have seemed like he could have won, you knew good and damn well he wasn't going to win.
Yeah, we knew what was going to happen. It was to get Tanahashi on the card.
That's my point. It was look at Tanahashi on the card. Tanahashi deserves a payday too. That's what they said.
He's the guy giving the paydays at this point. So
that's my point. One man rock over it.
I give this 2.5.
You better than me.
How much you give it?
2, because that's about as good as cause it's a predictable match. I like matches. I prefer my matches where I don't know who's gonna win.
Very true. Dave probably gave this a 4, right?
Lower.
3 and 7 fifths.
Oh gosh, you're overthinking that 7.5. No,
3.5.
3.5. There
Okay.
we go. See, back on track. Look at you.
Winner takes all match for the Never Openweight Championship and AEW International Championship. Colt Kutska takes Shida, defeated Shingo Takagi in 12 minutes and 46 seconds. Honestly, just felt like a match with no passion. Like, again, they were trying to fabricate, what a New Japan match should be, rather than actually having it. And I just don't know why they just don't have that strong style fighting spirit that, New Japan is best known for. You know what I mean?
Well, what did I tell
It just
you?
didn't hit for me.
Well, because you knew one person was going to win, and it was Takeshita. He did not go through all that hell in AEW and then fly his ass all the way over there just to take a loss.
Very true.
He defended that. I could have told you he was going to win just on the fact that he defended the AEW title more times than he did in the last month. Like, holy shit. So I was like, oh yeah, he's about to whoop that ass at this one. And I feel bad for Takagi because this guy was at one point the champion.
That he was.
He was the guy. And it's just, I don't know what they're doing with him. It's just weird. But Take a Shit is on the right. His trajectory at this point is way better than Takagi's.
Right.
You could thank Daniel Bryan for
that. Because Bryan didn't bring Take a Shit in. Kenny brought him.
No, they had a match. The match that he had.
Oh. Okay.
With Daniel Bryan. Because people probably wouldn't know who they was.
I mean, maybe, but I think Take a Shit didn't really rise to prominence until he started beating up Kenny Omega. But that's just my, opinion.
Okay, I give you that.
I give it 3.
Saying 3, but your boy Meltzer.
4.5.
4.5 on the money. Look at you. Told you once you get rid of that New Japan Tokyo Dome shit, I told you he only gave double stars for the Bucks and Omega. Everybody else was getting that same raggedy ass.
Oh yeah. Alright.
Oh yeah.
IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship match. El Desperado defeated Dookie in 5 minutes and 20 seconds. I can't really call this a match. I mean, Dookie came out like a freshly polished turd. He had it all going on. This was obviously, his moment to shine. And unfortunately, 5 minutes into the match, he got injured. I believe it was a separated shoulder. Anybody could correct me if I'm wrong on that. He could not continue. The referee made the decision to stop the match. And I'm just super, just disappointed for both guys. Because, Desperado has been seeking that Tokyo Dome moment for quite some time. He thought he was going to get it with Hiromu, which he certainly should have. but the match just was under considering what their other matches were. And I mean, when are we ever going to see Dookie in this position ever again? So this was his moment to shine as well. And, you know, it's just unfortunate that it ended the way that it did.
That is true. Yeah, I mean, it's hard. I think they'll run it back once he gets better. New Japan, we'll see how long they say the injury is. And usually we're thinking, a dislocated shoulder? Those are usually like 30 days. So, I mean, depending. But New Japan sometimes be quick as shit to take a title off somebody. So, sure.
Right.
You know what I mean? They'll take a goddamn title off you, like, sure. So, I mean, it's just weird. He won by decision, but the question is, did he lose the championship?
I mean, yeah, Desperado's the champion now.
Okay, so there we go.
Yeah.
So Desperado's the champion. So now they'll probably get to run it back in the summer, give or take. Or maybe Dookie wins the Super Juniors and get his chance of redemption. So I see it coming that way.
Yes, we'll definitely, hopefully Dookie gets his moment. I don't think we should rate this match because it technically wasn't a match.
I am in agreement. I was gonna say NA.
Yeah.
But that didn't stop your boy from rating this.
Really? What an asshole!
Really? He didn't stop your boy.
I really hate it if I'm wrong on this, but he gave this 4 stars, didn't he?
What'd you say?
He gave this 4 stars, didn't he?
No.
2.5?
Lower.
1.25.
2 stars.
Okay.
Which, to me, I mean, I would have been NA or IC, incomplete. At best,
Yeah.
at worst, incomplete. Like,
you already separated your shoulder, and then this asshole from California is kicking you in the balls as well with a 2-star match. Like, bitch, it didn't even start. Like 5 minutes is like the intro of a New Japan match. You know what I mean?
That is true.
Like that's the opening number. is the first 5 minutes. So they didn't even get started.
And the fact that he's done that move probably 30,000 times.
It's always the shit
and it's
that
just
you know that you do that repeatedly.
It is the routine shit gets you. I don't know what it is, but it sucks.
Alright, we got the IWGP Gaijin Championship, heavyweight championship.
Yep, the Gaijin Championship. Yep, you called it.
Yeah, we got Yota Tsuji defeated David Finlay in 19 minutes and 35 seconds. Just seeing Yota Tsuji come out, I mean, he's a fucking star. Sota Uno, like, Renarita, move out of the way. Your next New Japan star is Yota Tsuji, and I think everybody kind of already knows that, but nobody is willing to pull the trigger on, the very obvious thing that they should do, but aren't.
Well, it's called delaying until the inevitable. And that's what I kept telling you. I mean, he's only 31, so he's got a little time. I mean, even though Okada was killing niggas at 30, like Okada was Okada at 30.
That's what I mean. Okada was maybe like 26, 27 when he had his 3-year run. So, I mean...
I think he was probably younger than that. I mean, he's had at least a good Me personally, I think from what 2016, an 8-year run.
Yeah, I mean maybe longer than that. I mean he
I
started
think
at
he was the
24.
guy for. Hmm?
I mean he started at 24 if I'm not mistaken.
That guy was the man. I mean, he's 37 now.
He's
So
37 now. Wow.
yeah. So my
I
thing
mean he's
is when
looking
he
like he's
was there,
40. And that
shit, wrestling all the matches in New Japan Strong Style. I'll be wrestling at 42. Fuck you. Fuck all that. Like shit.
point
Um.
point taken.
So I mean, Okada. Well, let me see. Yeah, he 2016. No, 2016. I say 2016 to 2023. So a 7-year run. So yeah, from 30 to 37, roughly. Yeah, right when he hit 30.
Well, what did you think about this match?
Great. It was good storytelling. The right guy won. I knew Finlay, even though he had the belt, I just didn't take him as seriously. Right?
Yeah, I mean,
Especially like if he's supposed to, because keep in mind, at one point, this guy, I mean, I have to even think about it. Is he still the guy for Bullet Club? So, we never took him seriously ever since then. So I'm like, I can't, you know what I mean?
right.
So that's where I'm kind of torn on him. It's like, and I mean, there's no fault of his own, but I mean, 5 feet 11, roughly 5 feet 11, and he really, I mean, cutthroat. I need him to be a little bit more cutthroat.
I mean,
I still remember him as Thin Juice. I don't.
Unfortunately, the only reason he's in the position that he's in is because nobody else was available. Juice Robinson left. Jay White left. Kenny Omega left. Um, I mean, fucking Michael Elgin left. Who else was I'm forgetting? That was a Gaijin. Um, he
Anderson and Gallows.
Anderson and Gallows, Tama Tonga, Tangaloa, Hikaleo. Um, I mean, El Fantasmo is, I mean, technically a face at this point, but I mean, he should have been the leader of Bullet Club, if I'm being honest. But that's a whole other conversation for another time.
I mean, they ain't really got nobody. I mean, Sonata just got there, and that's what I'm saying. Like, he's the leader, and this is the crew he has. Clark Connors, Drilla Maloney, Jake Lee, Gabe Kidd. Gabe Kidd might be some.
I mean, we'll talk
Gato,
about Gabe Kidd in a couple minutes, but yeah.
Gabe Kidd, Gato, Alex Coughlin, and Sonata just got there after he literally disbanded a group to join a group. This motherfucker joined 3 different groups in 3 years. I don't know what the hell they doing with him, but that's a whole nother topic for another day. But back to Finlay, it's just maybe, I mean, he's cutthroat, but maybe I think he just needs to be a tad bit more cutthroat to me. I don't know. It's kind of like how can I put it? Ethan Page, right? Ethan Page looks like a dude that you could beat up, but he also looks like a guy that will do what he did to Javion White. Like, he could do that with a smile on his face and have no problem with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That part, right? Like that switch. And it's like, I don't see the switch with him. And that's it. Other than that, he's okay. I just don't see the switch.
I mean, well, actually, I should start with my stars. I give it 3 stars.
I mean, I'm a lot more generous, 3.5, because the right guy won, and it was his crowning moment. Because this was his Mania moment, and he's about to. I think he's going to have a nice reign. I personally think And this seems like reverse psychology. They want that belt now to be more important than the belt 50-50 guy. But that's a whole nother.
Ooh, that might be something.
That might be some shit going down. Because I told you, if he won, the other one was not going to win.
That's right. Meltzer gave this 4 stars.
Meltzer gave it more than 4 stars.
4.5.
4.5.
Alright. That brings us. I kind of feel like this was the main event, and everybody kind of knew it. Tetsuya Naito.
It was. It was. It was the sentimental main event.
Tetsuya Naito defeated Hiromu Takahashi in 17 minutes and 4 seconds. I mean, Hiromu came out in like a what's the purple dinosaur's name?
Barney?
Barney the dinosaur outfit? Like, and that kind of took things took me out of it a little bit. But you know, Hiromu.
Really? That's his style.
But then, I mean, seeing Naito in that outfit and literally the snake mask, like you knew Sid was about to get down. Like he dresses to impress, and
No. He dresses based on how he thinks the match is gonna go.
yeah.
If he came out with t-shirts and just some shorts, you knew the result was gonna.
Yeah.
Like, tell me I'm lying.
And the match was definitely melancholy, if I'm being honest, watching it. Going from, Hiromu denying the fist pump to, every move that they did. It kind of got a little repetitive. Maybe not as, athletic as it could be, but I mean, Naito is legitimately legally blind at this point. So I mean, he did what he could, and he did what he could actually pretty well. I didn't see too many botches. So I mean, all in all, I would say it was a success. And then you got that really heartfelt moment at the end. It low-key felt like a retirement match, but they wrestled the next night, so I don't fucking know.
To me, I would have thought, am I the only one that thought Hiromu should have won?
Yes, but again, if Naito was leaving, but it doesn't seem like Naito's leaving.
So then what would be the purpose? Because remember, we were talking about thinking that this was going to be
a retirement match.
Not even a retirement match, more of a passing of the torch. Right?
Yeah.
Like you're the leader of the group, or you were slated to be the leader of the group now. If this makes sense, right?
Right.
But
low-key, I feel like in order to be that guy, it has to be like Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair at 24. Hiromu has to pull the trigger on Naito. And as much as I love Hiromu, I think he loves Naito too much to pull that trigger. That's why. Now, hear me out. This is just how I'm feeling. Yoda pulls the trigger on Naito. He beats Naito. He retires Naito. he takes over LIJ, obviously he's going to get nuclear heat because he retired one of the greatest, the most popular wrestlers in New Japan. And then you have Hiromu chase Tsuji. What are your
But then that means LIJ would break up. And that's or either Hiromu leaves LIJ or LIJ breaks up.
Well, I mean, without Naito, is LIJ really LIJ? I mean, Evil left a couple years ago, and it really wasn't the same. Then Sonata left, and there was definitely a huge gap. And then, I mean, Titan came in, and like, who the fuck cares about Titan? You know what I mean?
True.
Like, so, I mean, this isn't your mama's LIJ. You know, this isn't.
But I can make the argument that if Naito, it's kind of like LIJ was in sync, right? If Naito's Timberlake, then goddamn it, Hiromu is Chaz.
I feel like
he's number two.
Joey Fatone.
No.
I mean, at least we actually still remember who Joey Fatone is. Like, who the fuck
I know
is
who
Chaz?
but top two talent wise, it was him and Chaz and Timberlake.
If that was the case, we'd still be talking about that guy.
But Hiromu, to me, LIJ is Hiromu and Naito, and it shows because, well, spoiler alert, everyone, they're going to be fighting the Bucks for the tag titles. So that tells me, like, they are LIJ. So
I mean,
it wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense. Now I could see Naito bestowing LIJ to Takahashi, and Tsuji gets pissed, and feeling like he should be the guy, and it kind of goes downhill from there, or the other way around. But I don't think Hiromu is the most loved person is Naito. The second most is Hiromu.
Yeah.
So it would make sense, you know what I'm saying, for Hiromu to go heel. I mean, it can. I'm not saying that it's out of the realm, but it wouldn't make sense.
Well, I'm not saying. When I said pull the trigger on Naito, I didn't mean it in a heel sense. Make Hiromu a heel by, retiring, Naito. I'm just saying that he doesn't have the heart to do it because he loves Naito so much. People would absolutely.
But he had the heart to get in the ring with him? If you got the heart to fuck him up in the ring, you got the heart to pull the trigger. Come on.
What? So. But, I mean, people would accept if Hiromu was the guy to retire Naito. But for Yota Tsuji just to come in and retire him with no, ifs, ands, or buts, because that's what Naito wants. He wants somebody to take LIJ from him. He doesn't want to give it to somebody. That's always been his intention. You know what I mean?
You're expecting him to do the Brock Lesnar parties over Grandpa? Or is that what we're waiting on?
Brock Lesnar over who?
You remember when Brock Lesnar went in on Hulk Hogan and was like, parties over Grandpa?
Yeah, yes.
Is that what we're waiting on? Like,
pretty much, yeah.
And don't expect that to happen. Because I don't think New Japan would let that happen.
We saw, you know what, for the Naito aspect, I might be tuning into New Japan a little bit more frequently than I have in the past.
Well, depending if he walks in with the right gear. There you go.
Yeah.
If he's in a t-shirt, you know damn well he ain't giving two shits about it.
And with this match 4, the story was there, the matchability was there. the emotions was there. So it did check those boxes. So 4. What say you?
I mean, I said the same thing. I really thought I really thought Hiromu should have won. I, but I'm not gonna. I kind of want to go 3.5 because Hiromu did win. But that would be me looking at it not objectively. So a 4.
That brings us to the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship match. Zack Sabre Jr.
Wait a minute, Meltzer.
Meltzer.
Yes.
Ooh, 4.5.
I wish he was that generous.
4.
Once again, I wish he was that generous.
Oh wow. 3.5.
Once again, I wish he was that generous. He gave it a 3.
Okay then. You know, I sort of maybe saw that coming because when it comes to story and emotions, Dave isn't into that shit. So that makes sense.
He's in the flippy shit. He's in the flippy shit.
Nobody fucking flipped, motherfucker. Fucking flip more and then I'll give you more stars. I don't know why he's Jim Cornette, but
yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, IWGP World Heavyweight Championship match. Zack Sabre Jr. defeated Shota Umino in 43 minutes and 44 seconds. So first and foremost, you were right. I did not think that they were giving Zack Sabre Jr. the W in this match. That definitely shocked me. But but if you saw the reaction Soto got when he came in, like you kind of low key expected it to a degree. But even not even expecting it, you would still expect them to go with the Nihongo boy rather than the Gaishin. I mean, fucking Kenny Omega didn't win the New Japan, the Tokyo Dome main event for Wrestle Kingdom. Who was expecting Zack Sabre Jr. to win? And
I did.
Except Kaliko.
I did.
I think Zack was Zack was just lucky for circumstances because like the crowd really didn't accept Soda. That being said, it wasn't a bad match. I wouldn't say Tokyo Dome main event quality match, but they did what they were able to. They did what they did well, and yeah, maybe a little bit too long, but that's only my opinion.
Didn't I tell you? I called this. I was like, "There's no fucking way that if the problem is if you knew if Umino was gonna win and Zack Sabre, if Umino was gonna win and Tsuji was gonna win, it kind of gives a sour taste for other people to come overseas because of the simple fact that there's a certain feeling that needed to go past, right?
Yeah.
Now, you're right. Zack Sabre Jr. did something that Kenny Omega couldn't do. Brock Lesnar couldn't do.
No, Brock did it.
Kurt Angle. Oh, Brock did it?
Brock did it? He's fucking Brock Lesnar. You don't expect him to win the Tokyo Dome main event.
I mean, I'm just telling you, bro. Like, he did something that a very few could do. But because it shows that they can treat wrestlers that are not of that culture in a high regard. Now, here's excuse me. Oh, I'm choking.
Ooh.
Oh shit!
You
I
okay?
told you. I made no glitching. I may be choking, but no glitching. Anyway,
I told you, something
Kenny O,
always goes wrong.
Kenny O, because I'm so happy that this happened. Anyway,
You just wanted, you were happy, you were right that you told me Zach was gonna win, and he did.
hey, but here's the thing. Kenny is a person who is the culture. Does Kenny Omega look like a person that would rock the culture?
For a W, fuck yeah. He wanted to be the
No,
guy.
he will.
He wanted to be the
No, he
first
will
guy
not.
to
He
win the
would.
main event.
He would not.
So
He was the first guy to win the G1.
yeah, I mean AJ Styles didn't win the main event. He wasn't even in the main event of Wrestle Kingdom.
But Zack Sabre Jr. It takes a person with a certain moxie to pull that shit. And who better than 50-50 his damn self? Because he'll look at you and go, I'll drop this belt, but it ain't gonna be here. And it ain't gonna be now.
And I think
And New Japan set it up straight because him cashing it in early gave you the impression that he was going to lose.
yes. And may have been ready to lose it at Wrestle Kingdom. But like I said, the lead into I'd really like to see the lead into Wrestle Kingdom because obviously again this was the first time I watched New Japan in quite some time. The crowd was just not behind Soda, and if they gave him that belt and the crowd wasn't into it, they were going to have serious problems on their hands. So, that might have been a late game, decision that they made for him to drop it because the crowd reaction was going to turn him low key heel.
I mean, Shota looks like he's Tanahashi wannabe.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. He doesn't have his own identity. For better or for worse, Zack Sabre Jr. is Zack Sabre Jr. And he gonna be 50-50.
Yes.
Through and through. What? I mean, plus they did an article on Zack Sabre Jr. and how important it was for him to win it. Now, I want to say that was ESPN. I want to say.
He was in one of the major magazines in Japan as well. I don't know. It was either Time or Vogue Japan. Like, it was not like a small publication.
Yeah. And my thing is that, he kind of, for better or for worse, I will say he at least earned the bitch.
Yes, I 100% agree with that. Zach has consistently been there. He put the time and effort into New Japan. He put New Japan over other companies as well. So I mean, he dedicated himself to the brand. So I do give him that, and it's now obviously paying off. Where the other guys that did it didn't necessarily.
And, he's, I mean, he's a game changer with that. But it also takes his reign seriously. Because as much as we loved Omega's reign, or Omega, we were more happy Omega winning it than actually him having the reign.
Right.
Zack Sabre Jr.'s reign, you can make the argument now with this has stamped him probably a better reign than Omega.
100%. I mean, number one Gaijin in all of New Japan. Over Kenny Omega, over Ospreay, over Jay White. He did what none of the other ones could do, and that was win the main event of Tokyo Dome.
No, not only win Tokyo Dome, win the G1, cash it in early, and walked into the G1 as champion, and walk into Wrestle Kingdom as champion, and walked out as champion.
Yeah.
Says a lot.
That it does. How many stars you give this?
It'd be one thing if he was the challenger, and that's the other thing. If he was the challenger and he just won it, it would look like the usual, successful cash-in.
Yeah. No, I completely get that.
But for him to do it early, have the title, be that guy going in, be that guy going out,
it's a flex.
He might have this belt for a minute.
That won't necessarily suck. I mean, obviously, the numbers aren't necessarily in his favor right now. Like I said, 25. What did I say? Maybe that will change. I mean, they're hoping for an upswing. But, we are very much in a...
Somebody that they need to hate in order for him
to... behind him.
I think...
Kaliko?
Maybe. Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, so just for reference, last year, January 4, 2024, 27,422 compared to what did I say, 2,200? 22,000?
24.
24,000. So, I mean, that's a considerable number, but, also, Naito was in the main event, so I digress.
Right, and look at the fact that at that time, I think New Japan, did they go back? Because this is I'm giving it away here, but this is the first time that they did a night one where Wrestle Kingdom is its own thing and night two is its own separate thing.
Oh no, there was no night two that time around. There was only one night.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So this night two is like a whole all-star game of wrestling type deal.
That it is. How many stars you give this one?
I mean, 5 because I was right.
Wow. Okay then.
No. I am not that vain. It was a good match. The right guy won. It's a solid 4.
I give it 4 as well. Alright. The show as a whole. Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle.
It's a middle show because you had some matches that kind of came out of nowhere, and then you had some matches that really wowed you. Me personally, the match of the night for me was probably Naito and Hiromu because that's what I was more emotionally invested in.
I mean, it's literally the only reason I watched it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, let's keep it above.
I give it thumbs in the middle as well. They're in obviously a transitional period, and they got some guys, they got some prospects, but nothing is cemented as this is New Japan right now. So, we got Tsuchi, we got Soda. We'll kind of see where things go from there. I don't think we could put Ren Narita in the conversation right now. But again, we'll see. Who knows? Maybe Sonata will be a Light J again by then.
Who knows at this point? That boy switched his name tag affiliation more times than I've ever seen in my life.
No, wait, he's gonna be a part of the LWO.
Hell, he might bring back Suzuki Gun. Shit. Like, shit. Hey.
Alright. That will conclude our coverage of New Japan Wrestle Kingdom. And we are wrestling with Wrestle Dynasty. It took place January 5th.
The next night.
Yep. Tokyo Dome, the Tokyo Dome in Tokyo, Japan. It took the promotions involved was New Japan Pro Wrestling, All Elite Wrestling or IL, Smell, Ring of Raw, and World Wonder Ring Stardom. Long Stardom. Attendance was 16,300, so that's significantly less than Wrestle Kingdom. But in my opinion, it may be a better show. I actually enjoyed a lot of the matches. Where I said, there was a lack of passion in the other matches from the night prior. I kind of low-key felt like there was maybe more passion in these matches. There was a couple of matches that did actually, pique my interest. But what say you? How did you feel about the show?
I mean, it was like we said, the what's the word I'm looking for? NBA All-Star game of fucking wrestling. It was literally like USA versus the world, or New Japan. At this point, Japanese versus Japan versus everybody. And that's what this kind of was. It was just a hodgepodge of everybody. This is probably the closest to the Olympic Games of wrestling that we were gonna get.
Well, let's get into it. 8-man lucha gauntlet match. Taichi Ishimori, Muscular Chihuahua, defeated Hichirio Kosei Fuchida, Sombreros Pizza Jr., Master Wado, Mascara Doritos, Titan, and El Desperado in 16 minutes and 23 seconds. I had no idea what was going on in this match. I didn't even know it was a gauntlet.
You want to talk about the fact that they had a match in which the champion was in there was an International Women's Cup 4-way, and Athena was in it, even though she was the champion. I'm like, it was like the winner receives a promotion championship match for the participating promotion of their choosing. I'm like, why would Athena be in this match when she's the right women's champion? It blew my mind. Like, wait a minute.
You know what she was fighting for, Kalika? She was wrestling for a ticket off the Isle of Misfit Toys. That's what she was fighting for.
Oh God, Lord.
Because Roman Reigns is the Isle of Relevancy, Athena, Ring of Honor, the Isle of Irrelevancy.
No, gosh. How dare you?
Stop me when I'm telling lies, Kaliko.
I mean, yeah, it's not the Ring of Honor it was 20 years ago. No, it wasn't. And the Ring of Honor if it was 10 years ago. But still, damn it, still has legacy.
I mean, Momo Watanabe gave... well, first and foremost, Athena almost like low-key murdered Willow with that stunner. Like it came out of nowhere. And then Momo low-key killed Adina with a baseball bat. Like, legitimately, like, he hit her with a baseball bat.
See, that's my point, man. Hey, it was. Hey, you gotta talk about them stories.
It was a good match. I'll give him that. And Persephone, yeah. Shawn Michaels, hire her. We need Persephone in NXT.
You ain't learning, but hey, Shawn Michaels got enough women in there, so I don't need him to take them all. He's out here collecting women wrestlers like Pokemon. Like shit.
Shawn Michaels,
Stephanie
we have the cake.
Stephanie McCoy, I choose you. Julia, I choose you. Roxanne Perez, I choose you. All of them lying too. They just killing it.
Okay, Roxanne was there before Shawn Michaels got there. So.
No, but that ain't the point. He kept her anyway.
So he takes credit for not firing her?
Jordan Grace, I choose you. He damn near wanted Tessa. Shit, I would. He looked like the dude with pull Tessa. But anyway, I digress.
The Oprah of women's wrestling, Shawn Michaels. You get a contract, and you get a contract, and you get a contract.
I mean, if you got cakes, you get a contract.
Yep. So, like I was saying, the gauntlet match. Low-key had no idea what was going on. They told
no idea.
Ishimori won. I believe them. He pinned Desperado, so obviously he's getting a title match. So, that will happen.
That's how it goes. Yeah, that's how that goes. New Japan rules. You pin the champ, get a title shot.
What did you think of the match?
A tad helter-skelter because it felt like they were all just waiting on Desperado to get in so they could get the pin to get the title. Anyways.
Which is the most logical thing I've seen in some time. Like, they literally all rushed onto Desperado to beat him up to get the title match.
At least they knew the rules. I mean, that's where it was like, okay, it's in Japan, so I guess we're going with the rules of the Japanese governing body.
The IWGP governing body.
Exactly. So there you go.
I give it 2.5.
Wait a minute, is it the IWGP television champion or is it the New Japan television?
No, it's IWGP junior title.
Oh well, shit. I never thought. Anywho's.
Yeah.
You gave it 2?
Yeah.
2, but you might want to. I mean, I have his ratings.
He gave this 3.5.
He was more gracious in this than Hiromu and Naito.
4.5?
4.5. There you go.
Down.
You get there. You get there.
Because flippy shit. It's a hell of a thing. Hiroshi Tanahashi wrestled Katsuri Shibata Bread. Ended in a time limit draw. It was a grappling rules exhibition match that lasted for 5 minutes. I always low-key wondered why Shibata wrestled in WWE, he wishes, in New Japan, in AEW, when New Japan was literally right there, his home. And now I understand why. They don't want to risk him getting hurt in New Japan. And Tony Khan literally does not give a fuck. And that's why Shibata is wrestling in America in AEW rather than in New Japan. I mean, what were they gonna really do in 5 minutes, if I'm being honest?
I mean, I've seen WWE do more in 5 minutes.
I mean, this could have been a speed match.
Speed. How dare you diss speed?
I mean, it was worthy of watching on Twitter, I'd say. But, I mean, that's literally
He
kind of
said
it.
it was worthy of watching on Twitter.
But, I mean, that's kind of pretty much it. But what's it?
I mean, honestly, there was no reason to have this match in the first place,
You
but
can't really even call it a match. It was an exhibition.
What did we say? The Olympic Games.
Yeah.
In case you haven't noticed, the Olympic Games of pro wrestling. And this is literally like the breakdance portion with the Australian girl.
With Ray Gunn.
Unnecessary. Anyway, I'm assuming, me personally, this would be an NA to me, but
I kind of low-key feel the same
what
way.
say you?
I mean, it was an exhibition, not necessarily a match. I wouldn't necessarily feel comfortable, giving it, an objective rating when it wasn't technically a match to begin with. You know what I mean?
Oh man, I'm gonna tell you right now, you didn't give it a rating, but Tanahashi did. I mean, not Tanahashi, Meltzer did.
He gave this 5 stars, didn't he?
I'm gonna put it this way. We had the last pay-per-view, right, that only went 5 minutes and ended in injury. We said NA.
Yeah.
And he gave it 2 stars, right?
Yeah.
He gave this one a higher rating.
But I said 5 stars, but I'm assuming that's not right.
Oh hell no! If he gave this a star a minute, that he needs to get drug tested. If that happens.
4 stars.
Lower.
3 stars.
Higher.
Alright, just tell me.
3 1/4.
3 1/4. Alright.
For 5 minutes. I mean that's.
Winner takes all match for the Strong Women's Championship and Undisputed British Women's Championship. Mercedes Monet.
Next. I mean, okay, let me stop. Because personally, I thought this was another sacrificial slaughter, but that's a whole other.
I mean, if there was a reason to watch it, I mean, Mina Shirakawa was in it. So, I mean, for that sole reason, it was worth watching, I'd say. Shawn Michaels? Sign off.
Shawn Michaels, do your magic.
Yeah. You get a contract, and you get a contract.
Dude, that's right. That's what we got. Shawn Michaels, you know what to do.
Yes.
But Mercedes Monet did not fly all the way from Boston, all the way to Japan to lose this match.
No, she did not. You want to give it a rating, or are we just going to the next thing?
I mean, she's. When this was on the card, when they announced it, I was like, oh, they're. I mean, we should just call her the Monet Masher because she's just mashing everybody's push.
Oh yeah, inflating
She's
that.
So I mean, 3.
I give it 5.
5?
Yeah, just Mina's entrance alone was worth 5 stars.
Holy shit! That alone?
Yeah. The entrance 5 stars. You go home happy. Speed up to the next thing. I'm good. But I did actually watch the match.
Well, that
Okay, it wasn't a bad match.
I mean,
I do think Mercedes is starting to have better matches than she did when she first came into the Independents. Um, that being said, the wrong person won. But yeah, 5 stars. All right. Um, it was a women's match at the Tokyo Dome, but Mercedes was in it. 3.5?
3.5. You called it, man. Look at you.
All right. Next match, David Finlay with Gato defeated Borgo Brody King in 12 minutes and 53 seconds. Low-key, not a bad match. Brody really sewed off, but low-key, Brody has good matches. Unfortunately, Brody doesn't win a lot of matches, is the thing. And he really should. I mean, he's a monster. But, I mean, Finlay needed a W after taking the L to Suchi the night before, so, yeah, he was your lamb to be slaughtered on this night. But again,
Oh yes,
it was still a
that
good
was.
match, I'd say. But what say you?
I mean, good match. It kind of showed Finley was gonna win when he lost the night prior, but that's a whole nother issue there. But I mean. But yeah, I mean, Finley won. I guess he can be the leader of the club now. I guess. Am I missing anything with this?
No, I think that pretty much simplifies it.
There you go.
I give it 3 stars. Let's see.
Yeah, it's about right. 3, but oh, you can only imagine what Meltzer gave.
4.
Higher.
4.5.
Low.
4.25.
4.25. There you go. 4.25.
All right. Now we got Soda Umno defeated Claudio Ida Canoli in 14 minutes and 31 seconds. Not necessarily the match I kind of wanted to see. I get that they wanted to give Soda, a W, but it's a little weird because they're the Death Riders now when Soda is a part of it, but he's low-key not a part of it, and Claudio had the jump start on him, and it just never really got put together properly in my eyes. But what say you?
True. I mean, it was kind of like Omeo. Just like Finlay, right? Finlay lost. He wake up. Claudio became the second.
Yep. Ida
Just
Cannoli
saying.
was a cannoli that got eaten.
Remember when we were Claudio deserves better?
This is what Claudio got.
That is what we got. Be careful what you wish for. Anyways.
I give it 2.5. It didn't really do it for me.
2.
Meltzer gave this
Meltzer was generous.
4.
Lower.
3.5.
3.5.
Next match, singles match for the Never Openweight Championship, and the AEW International Championship. Colt Kutska takes Shida, defeated Tomohiro Ishii by pinfall in 13 minutes and 30 seconds. Actually, low-key, pretty good match. I didn't think Ishii could have good matches anymore. He
can.
He actually pulled out a couple of moves I never thought that Ishii could actually do. So, it got a pop out of me. They fought strong, they fought hard, fighting spirit as
they fought stiff.
Yeah.
Stiff. That's what but that's an Ishii match. It's you in the ring with him. He rocking your shit.
Right.
Ain't even a question. He gonna rock your shit. It's just a matter of whether you can take it. And the only thing that kills me in this is that I kept telling you this take a shitter. He did not go through all this. He did not go through beating Ricochet and Ospreay to defend this title 15 times in 2.5 months, to fly all the way to Japan and win the title and be a double champion just to lose it the next night to Ishii.
And you were right. And
I told you that take a shitter bullet train was on time. I wish, and I know there's something in the UK, if I could have made money off this parlay, because I saw this coming a mile away, but doesn't deter the fact that it was a good match.
I haven't seen a match like this in New Japan in quite some time, and I dug it. 4 stars.
Oh yeah, easy. Yeah, solid 4. Uncle Dave though.
5.
Lower.
4 7/5.
You in the 7/5? Hell, anyway. Oh yeah, 4 7/5. 4.75. That is. He gets me too sometimes. I get.
I mean, if you went to the trouble to put 7.5, why not just put the 5? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, those.
I mean, you're rounding it up, yeah, to the nearest 10, whatever.
Yeah. Like, why are you taking unnecessary steps?
I mean, he does halves and quarters. Come on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, 3.5, 4.5. Yes, I get it. It's a thing, but quarters.
No, a quarter. A quarter. Yeah, that's.
Quarter is a little overkill, if I'm being honest.
It is.
All right. Then we have the IWGP Tag Team Championship title match. We have the middle-aged Fox defeating the OK Okan and Jeff Korn on the Cobb, and Tetsuya Naito and Hiromu Takahashi in 13 minutes and 46 seconds. Actually not too bad of a match, if I'm being honest. It was a little clusterfuckery, but I mean, that's what you get when you have a tornado match. So, I mean, the Bucks weren't, too, what's the word? Outlandish. Like, they actually put some effort into the match.
Mm-hmm.
Even though the wrong person won the match as well.
Yeah, who had the Bucks being the New Japan Tag Team Champions on your bingo cards this year.
Right. So, there's that. But, yeah. That definitely detoured my enjoyment of the match, but what say you?
Oh, boo. How dare you? Anyways, I mean, I didn't see that on the bingo card, but it's interesting that now that I don't know if it... See, this is why I wish we had our boy, because I don't recall a tag team winning both the junior and the heavyweight tag team champions as Gaijin. But, I mean, I'm pretty sure it happened.
The Young Bucks.
But the Bucks are in that rare company.
I mean, the Young Bucks did it a couple
I mean,
years
other
ago.
than the I'm trying to say other than the Bucks. So they're already in the rarefied air, but I didn't see this coming. I mean, if you had told me that in 2025, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks were just going to be back in New Japan after creating a wrestling company, I'd say you smoking rocks. Well, Kenny Omega maybe because, you know, he kind of loves it, but the Young Bucks I didn't see. And, I mean, with this, it comes with the fact that, I mean, that tag division needs some help anyway. So,
I'll give you that.
And
to your point,
it needs some help.
If you would have told me 6 years ago that they would have been back in New Japan after creating a company, I would have probably believed it, but I would have also thought that that company was defunct by now.
Damn.
Yeah.
You just are horrible. Diabolical. Well, no, I can't say diabolical. I'll let the 2024.
Cancel that word.
I canceled that word.
Cancel.
See how easy that word comes out? It's cancelable. It's canceled. Anywho's, just big meanie. Anyways, the match. The match did what it was supposed to do. Although I mean, this kind of showed it's weird that Naito and Hiromu was beating the brakes off each other the night before, only to bring their asses back to try to win the tag titles the next night.
Right.
Definitely was not on my bingo card, but here we are. we are here. So hey, I mean, it is what it is. Confuses the shit out of me, but hey, right team won.
Yeah. No.
I guess at this case.
I disagree with
because they need a tag.
But
you disagree with the win, but to me, them motherfuckers need somebody to put on. The motherfuckers need somebody to put them motherfuckers over. And it's a big deal. Even though you may not think it, being the Young Bucks is still a big deal.
I could at least agree with that. That being said, 3.5. What say you?
3. Give him some bones.
The Bucks were in this match, so 4.5.
Oh, you were close. Over.
4.25.
4.25.
All right. Then we have the main event, the last match, the thing people actually came to see. Kenny Omega defeated Gabe Kidd in 31 minutes and 55 seconds.
That wasn't the last match.
It might as well had been if you saw the match afterwards.
Are you about Zack Sabre Jr. Ricochet or Suji versus Jack Perry? Which one?
Oh, actually, we completely glossed over Suji. I completely glossed over that. My bad. We will.
I mean, I would too, because Jack Perry just came to be the sacrificial lamb.
Sacrificial goat. Get it right. Yeah.
Do we really take him seriously? CM Punk choked him out. Sacrificial lamb.
But I mean, he's the scapegoat, so sacrificial goat.
Oh God.
Yeah, let's be politically correct here. Be, sensitive to our goat viewers. But yeah, Yota Tsuji defeated Jack Perry the Platypus in 13 minutes 12 seconds. Global Heavyweight Championship was on the line. I didn't even know that. I mean, who actually thought Jack Perry was actually going to win this match, like legitimately. That being said, Yota Tsuji beat the hell out of him. I think Jack Perry got more offense than he actually deserved. Um, but that's just me. What's
I mean, it was the Suji Victory Lap tour. It was the Victory Lap tour.
more or less? I mean, I think he's like, well, there was others, but he was one of the two people from night. Well, actually, yes. One of two people from night one that actually won night two as well. Well, three people. You know, I'm gonna set up now. 2.5 stars. What say you?
I mean, 2 because it was a victory lap. You knew Perry was going to be getting his ass beat. He was the first challenger, and as much as Perry could be the scapegoat or whatever, he calls himself a goat. He was the sacrificial lamb that night. So therefore, 2.
Meltzer gave this 4, right?
No, he actually gave it less than 4.
3.5?
Less.
3.
3.
Okay.
3. A good old fat 3.
Okay. Now we could talk about the last match, the main event, the thing everybody wants to talk about. Kenny Omega defeated Gabe Kidd in 31 minutes and 55 seconds. This match really interested me for so many reasons. You know, obviously Kenny Omega, first match back
And his health. Yep.
Since, you know, getting diagnosed with Crohn's, surgery, all of that good stuff. Um, Gabe Kidd came in like a house of fire. Um, his ring gear kind of said it all. He had the Bullet Club logo on one side and then the New Japan logo on the other. Basically saying, bitch, I'm New Japan, you're just an outsider. And when they announced Kenny Omega, it was as representing AEW. I mean, obviously he does. You know, he's a VP. But for some apparent reason, I think that went up the crowd's ass the wrong way. Because they were low-key legitimately booing Kenny Omega. And I did not see that coming. Like you said, that was not on my bingo card. I thought it was a good match. I think Kenny Omega did what he was able to do, maybe a step slower than, you know, he's used to. Um, the whole hardcore shit really didn't make any sense to me, but okay. I mean, it was literally a singles, you know, match. If they would have announced a hardcore stipulation,
Well, it wasn't a hardcore stipulation. It was the fact that Omega took out the ref, and I guess the ref was in a 15-minute coma while they were out there throwing chairs at each other.
I mean, pretty much, but it kind of took me out of it. That like they just did all of that, and like there was a. When I think of a Kenny Omega match, I don't necessarily think, you know, bloody brawl. Maybe
You don't think a Moxley match. That's
I don't think a Moxley match, 100%. Um, it did kind of take away from my enjoyment of the match, but I still do think it delivered what it was supposed to, and it showed that Kenny Omega is still Kenny Omega, while also making Gabe Kidd an absolute star, because that crowd was hot for him. Maybe for
hot for him because he still represents Japan,
right,
and that's the thing. He represents what Japan is, and Kenny Omega represents what Japan was. Big difference.
yeah. So I mean, I think it did everything it was supposed to, in the right way. Like I said, it made Gabe Kidd a star. He he sprayed some Kenny Omega dust on him. I think we're going to
Kenny
see.
Omega dust.
I think we're going to see some great things from Gabe Kidd because I do think that he did impress a lot of people. A lot of people that haven't maybe known who Gabe Kidd was prior to this match. So, that's always good.
That is good.
But what say you?
I mean, the bell rang, and I was just happy to see him in the ring, first of all. Considering what he went through in 2024, to have the bounce back in 2025 for him is a miracle in that regard. That being said, yeah, it was not the hero's welcome he was expecting. But then again, this is kind of like the Olympic Games of Wrestling, so it's not like a New Japan audience. It's not a 100% New Japan audience, if you will.
Very true.
So I take that with a grain of salt. Because if this was Wrestle Kingdom, and Kid would have been booed out the building.
That's a good question. I guess we won't necessarily know. I will say one thing. Kenny Omega held his stomach a couple of times, and as somebody with the same condition, I fucking felt that.
Yeah, and it's just it's a miracle he was able to do it. Even though he was not even though his standard, according to his standard, he wasn't up there. I would say he did very well.
Oh yeah.
He made Kid look hella strong. It kind of turned into hardcore heaven after the ref got smashed, but yeah, solid match. Considering it was his first match back, and he'll be back in AEW. So I mean, hey man, it's only a matter of time at that point. So now we get to see him a little bit more often. I think let him take some time off, get the rest off, but he'll be back in no time, and I'm happy for him.
Definitely. I give this 4.5 stars. What say you?
The hardcore stuff kind of got me, but still, the fact he got in the ring personally is a 5. But 4.5 because of the simple fact the ref got taken out. And in most instances, you usually see another ref bring their ass out. And it seemed like they were like, no, ref, you got this. Just get your punk ass up. And so that kind of threw me off there, which is like, okay, if you're going to have these international rules, have different international refs all in the match.
Right.
But yeah. Now, with this one, you remember what we said earlier.
5.5.
You only inflict 5. Damn, you were close.
6 stars.
Lower.
Shit. Okay.
Like I didn't know you was coming out the gate, but I knew. But like we said earlier,
I know.
if you were gonna,
I know I only have like one more to go, so I'm not sure if I want to go 5 and 5.25 or 5 7/5, and that's kind of where I'm on a hiccup.
That's 7.5 gets you right.
Yeah. So I don't.
That quarter, and that motherfucker.
Fuck it.
Quarter.
5 7/5.
5.25.
Fuck. Okay.
But what did I say? He only does it for the Bucks and Omega.
And Osprey.
Bucks, Omega, Osprey, and for this is the first match I think Okada. I mean, it's either Omega versus anybody.
Yes.
Osprey versus anybody. The Bucks didn't get it, so I'm surprised. But they got a generous 4.25. So yeah.
No.
But you don't want to talk about the main event? The one that Samantha Irvin said was the main event?
Well, she could say whatever she wants. She's not in wrestling anymore.
I mean,
but
she said her man is the main event in the Tokyo Dome, and you said no, sir. He was not, and he was the main event at the Wrestle Dynasty. Wasn't the fucking Wrestle Kingdom, but it was Wrestle Dynasty.
But his bitch ass still lost. Zack Sabre Jr. retained the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship against Rick Lachey in 20 minutes and 57 seconds. They kind of came out like a bat out of hell. Ricochet kind of was able to do his shit. Zack was able to do his shit. I don't think anybody expected Ricochet to actually win. It was a Ricochet match, so I was immediately turned off of it. But it happened, and I had to see it, so it was a thing. So that's my feelings on the match. What say you?
I think this match was it worked because it was a style make fights kind of match. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Zack
like it was typical Zack Sabre shit. Like tear your ass in a pretzel, Killer Kowalski type shit. And Ricochet was trying to be the high flyer. So it was basically the opposite of Kenny Omega, where they were just like, oh, the ref goes out, we about to bust y'all asses open. So it was the opposite of that. And it just goes to show, hey man, Zack Sabre Jr. is a technician. And he's like, I'd be goddamned if I stayed and cashed in all this time just to lose to this motherfucker.
Yeah.
No offense.
Get your toilet paper and get the fuck out of my country.
Well, yeah, get the fuck out of my ring. Get the fuck out of my ring. Pretty much.
3 stars. What say you?
Yeah, because I knew he wasn't losing. I knew Ricochet wasn't going to win. Remember Ricochet said he was a Kobe Bryant of this shit? Kobe don't take this many L's. I mean, he's taking some L's, but shit.
Yeah, and Kobe won a championship. A couple of championships.
5 to be exact.
Huh?
5 to be exact. And I think Ricochet has been over ever since he got out of WWE.
Infinity 0.
I love you, Ricochet. With all due respect.
If you love him, why are you shitting on him?
I mean, it's not shitting on him. It's saying that he's over in his title match shitting on him when it's true.
Hey, I'm not going to apologize, and I'm not going to say I love Ricochet either. So, yeah.
I mean, I can't. It's coming from a place of love, is what I'm trying to say. You know. It's like what's that shit? I got nothing but love for you, baby. It's pretty much that, you know.
Okay, dude, love.
I mean, that's Heavy D and the Boys. I got nothing but love for you, baby. I got nothing but love for you, baby. I'm telling you, that's it. It coming from place of love.
Okay,
so love.
Uncle Dave.
Uncle Dave.
Grunkle Dave. What did he give on it?
What?
4.5?
4.5. Damn, look at you.
Alright.
Ending on a good note.
Alright, I redeemed myself. Alright, the show as a whole, thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle.
I would say from a variety pack, it was a lot better. It had better names. Sometimes them outcomes didn't change. just because you got better names didn't mean the outcome was gonna change. You know what? Halfway middle, halfway up. Because the people that needed to shine, shined. And the ones that where it felt helter skelter, it was helter skelter.
So basically,
Match, the what the fuck of the night for me was Athena being in a match where they could call their title shot and she's a fucking champion. Threw me off. Just, they ain't even gonna lie to you.
So basically you're giving it an Orange Cassidy thumbs up, correct?
The orange Cassidy. Yeah, not too just, it's there. It's there.
I'll give it the full thumbs up. I thought it was a good show.
Look at you.
Match was
Look at
worth the
you.
price of admission, I'd say. Alright. That will conclude our coverage of Wrestle Dynasty. And now we are wrestling with WWE Monday Night Raw, January 6th, Netflix premiere. There's definitely nothing else ever happened on January 6th. It's only Monday Night Raw, for our history buffs out there. Alright, so I was at this show. It wasn't a bad show. I enjoyed what I saw from the matches. The promos were okay, but the matches were pretty good. Some things didn't necessarily make sense, but that's WWE logic for you. Came out of it with thinking it was a positive start to a really massive thing for WWE. Obviously, 90. They're going to be in 90 countries simultaneously, streaming
Right when we
at the same time. So, and I mean, this for a lot of people, this might be the first time that they ever saw WWE. So that's a plus as well. So, like I said, leaving the arena positive. The next day, I did not expect as much negativity as I was going to experience. But I'm sure we're going to get into it in a moment. I think either I got lost or Kaliko was lost. I think we lost Kaliko, but we shall see in one moment. This is those Netflix problems that we were talking about. Okay, so I was saying I don't think I was expecting as much negativity that came out of the show the next day. And it wasn't even really for anybody that was, still an active wrestler, but just, things that happened on this show. But the show as a whole, how did you feel about
it? It had a WrestleMania feel, if I'm honest. Now, that's just from the crowd standpoint. It felt WrestleMania-esque, if you asked me. Me. It's also like the first time that everyone could kind of speak about it real time other than a PLE, which is crazy to me. And plus, it came on 5 o'clock here on Netflix, so that means my black ass, you know, if I had to watch it, it was be done by 7 and I can go to bed on time. Yeah, worked out for everybody. But to me, the show overall, it came out with a banger. It had everything you needed on it. Uh, the stories, the drama, some changing of the guards. An old guard getting his ass handed to him, literally. So yeah, it had it everything. It had it all.
Well, let's start off with that one moment at the beginning of the show, the cube around the ring um that had Triple H talking off screen or however you want to call it. Um, it was a nice video package for sure. WWE does those pretty well, and I love the how they were painting everybody onto the mat. But when Triple H started saying face, heel, suit, work, I was like, those are words you're not supposed to use, sir. But what say you?
But once again, this is him trying to introduce pro wrestling. Because, like you said, this isn't on a television show in a market. This is globally, and some places, keep in mind, don't even have. Some places, some countries, they probably couldn't even get to watch wrestling due to the fact that their channel didn't carry it.
Right.
So he's trying to introduce the element of pro wrestling and not the element of sports entertainment.
I just feel like, you know, you don't use, like in a movie, like you don't say Darth Vader talking to Luke saying, "Hey, I'm your father," and then, oh well, this is an act break. This is how this scene was shot while they were doing it. You kind of you don't use you don't break the fourth wall on a production, in my opinion. And obviously WWE is a production. It's a show. We all know that. We know these terms. I kind of feel like, you don't show how the sausage is made, especially if it's right off the bat, if it's somebody that doesn't know what it is to begin with. You understand?
While I understand that, and I could get your passivity for this, if it, I get it, but if The Rock didn't come out and do what the fuck he did, I would have seen your whole point.
Well,
I would have ceded your whole point.
well, I mean, let's talk about The Rock. He, after
Because he cannonballed that bitch. Dead ass.
well, explain.
Because people were more mad about the fact that he bigged up Cody Rhodes and had a drink with Cody Rhodes in another segment when they were supposed to be enemies.
Yes. Well, I mean,
You see what I'm saying? So it's kind
and that definitely threw me off. But and he was very upbeat, gracious, happy to be there, Rock. Which low key kind of told me he's not wrestling at WrestleMania. If he was actually going to have a match at Mania, he would have set something up or alluded to something during this show. So, I mean, um, somebody put it great to me. That wasn't The Rock out there. That was Dwayne Johnson,
Dwayne
the
Johnson. Yeah.
corporate, the boss, not the
The
final
the
boss,
boss.
the boss.
Exactly. Not the final boss, but the check writer.
Yeah, I kind of
Bu-
feel like
bu-
low key we got a better Rock promo on NXT the night after because he was
Because
just
he
like in a good
cussing his ass off. And
yeah,
that part.
and
Because he was cussing his ass off.
he was in a good mood. He was talking about actually, pro wrestling rather than, business. And, we know why The Rock was at NXT. It was because his daughter was there. We all know that.
Well, but he also, like we say, NXT is a different audience than WWE, even though they are the same motherfucking company.
Yes. And I mean, kudos to Ethan Page. I mean, he got to be in the only segment with The Rock. I mean, that's pretty big honor for him. Uh, I mean, only Cody Rhodes got to be in a segment on a show with The Rock the night prior. Um, so I mean, it tells you what people think of Ethan Page right now as well. Um, but like I was saying, there was no substance to The Rock's promo. It was basically, I'm the boss. We're happy to be here. I'm only here because I'm a big name that people know. I have a couple movies on Netflix right now. Go see Red Notice or Red Born or the one with Ryan Reynolds. There you go. Fuck me.
Yes.
So yeah.
I
Um.
mean,
Mhm.
it worked. It worked.
Now there is one thing I like to bring up when it comes to The Rock at Raw. We were very much under the impression that it was going to be Cody Rhodes versus The Rock at WrestleMania, and that was the main reason why Las Vegas was getting WrestleMania this year, because The Rock ain't going to know Minnesota. But
No, I didn't tell you. I mean, you may thought that.
I
I
thought
knew
that.
they were getting it when they had the press conference there. It's like, oh yeah, it's a Vegas picture. You can bet your
But
the moment they had the press conference, I told you next year it's in Vegas. And now.
yeah, but now that we're not getting The Rock and Cody Rhodes in Las Vegas because it kind of low key seems like it's not going to happen, and this show was a big indicator of that. Um, it kind of makes me feel like Minnesota just got the shaft because The Rock wanted to be on that show, but then changed his mind. But that's just my
Well,
opinion on it.
but Minnesota's not getting Mania.
But they wanted Mania.
Yeah. But they're getting SummerSlam tonight.
I mean, we could both agree SummerSlam's not WrestleMania.
Well, it's gonna be two
That's going
nights,
to
so
like
it's
the Winter
practically
Olympics rather than the actual Olympics.
well, it's two nights and they're gonna get double their revenue. The same way that if they had to got the WrestleMania, it would have been two nights. It's the same thing. Um, my thing is that I don't think The Rock is out of it yet because I personally think I wouldn't put it past him if he's in the Royal Rumble. Just me personally, but I think he'll be in the Royal Rumble. He's not out of it yet.
I feel like he would have said or done something on this show to maybe allude to it, but that's just my opinion.
He could, but keep in mind this is if we're comparing it as if it was the first because The Rock saying he was going to be in the Rumble would have overshadowed Cena saying he's going to be in the Royal Rumble.
I don't think The Rock would say that he's in the Royal Rumble. I think The Rock would just put himself in the Royal Rumble.
And that's my point. I personally think he's going to put himself in the Royal Rumble. As a matter of fact, I think he's going to put himself in the Royal Rumble, and he is more than likely going to be the runner-up in that Royal Rumble. Depending, because, I mean...
Well, we'll definitely put a pin in that conversation for another time.
Yeah, we'll put a pin in that one. But back to the fourth wall, yeah. The first 45 minutes was big. I mean, the first, 25, 30 minutes was breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point. I mean, it wasn't, because I can't fault WW. I can fault them to a certain extent. I'll fault them for trying to use the slang and maybe the insider terms and it seems whatever. The only reason I kind of also give them the pass to, it's a little bit of both. I give them pass because this is the first time they're doing Netflix. This is the first time that, you see what I'm saying? This is the first time other than the NFL that there's, other than the NFL, the Mike Tyson fight, that this is on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That a week, but also this is the first weekly syndicated show that's going to be on it. So it's essentially them staking their flag.
Right.
As the first. It's like they made the moon, they got on the moon and they're putting the flag in.
Well, the first matchup was the tribal combat between Roman Reigns and Solo Coca-Cola. Pretty good match. No necessarily complaint. It had drama. It had, what it needed to, and it did exactly what it needed to. And I mean, you got that big moment of, The Rock pulling the Red Hot Chili Peppers on Roman. So I mean, that's a cool moment in itself. So, yeah, I think it did what it was supposed to. What say you?
It did what it was supposed to, and it did what it was supposed to. The right person got the dub. Kevin Owens coming out was petty as shit. I was like, man, he really don't like Roman. Cody coming out to get him, it just showed that Cody still got business. That just showed Cody was willing to do what he said he was going to do, which is a SOS. And SOS is serve on site. He's going to beat the ass the moment he sees Kevin Owens. So that's basically why that happened. Roman getting the win. It's going to be interesting to see where Solo goes from here. And Fatu.
And
The Rock. Everybody else, The Rock coming into play here. Giving him the Ula Fala was a kind of crazy moment.
Definitely.
A lot of it was all drama, and we were here for it. I mean, he got the thing back that was stolen from him.
Right.
What's interesting is the fact that when Solo, before all this went down, said to Fatu, if he wins, you have to acknowledge him. So this means Fatu about to get that. He about to get a fucking man. He about to get a dog, boy. He about to get a dog.
I
but
love
we'll
you,
see where it
Roman
goes.
Reigns.
Yes, but it won't hit the same.
Yes, because his heart's always with Solo.
It won't hit the same. But yeah, it did exactly what it was supposed to do.
Yep. Alright, next segment is John Cena's final Monday Night Raw appearance. Well, it's the kickoff of the farewell tour.
There we go.
Yeah. So, John Cena saying John Cena stuff in a John Cena way. Uh, he could be so cheesy and corny, and I wasn't a John Cena fan to begin with, and he's not making it easy to enjoy him going away, if I'm being honest.
Really?
So, I mean, he did what he was supposed to, and that was the setup that he's going to be in the Royal Rumble. I mean, it would have been nice if he had interaction with somebody, or, maybe even a match, God forbid, but I understand what the purpose of the segment was, and it did, like we've been saying, it did what it was supposed to do. So,
I
um,
mean, he's gonna win the Royal Rumble now.
ain't everybody says they win the Royal Rumble. Doesn't necessarily
No,
mean they're
no,
gonna
no,
win.
no, 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 no. He's gonna win the Royal Rumble now.
Because he said about the 17-time championships, right?
Do you think that they won't give him a crack at breaking it?
Yes, but so tied Stone Cold's record of 3 Royal Rumble wins, do you think that they give him that?
Yeah,
Unfortunately, yes. I think John Cena doesn't need to win the Royal Rumble. He's John Cena.
but here's the thing: he's either winning the Rumble or he's winning the Chamber.
I
Take
would
your
be
pick.
I would be okay with him winning the Chamber. Low key, I could see him being the runner up and having Drew McIntyre claymore his ass out of the ring
Drew
and
McIntyre's not winning the Rumble.
and get like massive heat. But I
He
don't
he
see that happening.
he ain't winning the Rumble though.
No, I don't.
See, it's gonna be between. Two people are winning that Rumble.
Yeah.
There's only two people that are for sure gonna win that Rumble,
Hmm.
and it's either Roman or Cena. One of them two winning it. It's literally that close, that clear.
All right. Well, that's definitely a put the pin in moment for now. um, Anything you'd like to say about the promo before we go to the next thing?
I mean, it was a heartfelt promo. I mean, considering that it was weird because my kid, I said John Cena's out. He bust out his ass and went to go listen to every word in his mouth. So he still gets those kids, man. I shit. My kid's like, why is he retiring? And I'm like, because he's been wrestling since I was 20. Like he's only been wrestling since I was like 20 years old, my guy. Like, I can't help you there. Um, so yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's just 2025 is gonna be interesting for WWE because it's like it's high, but it's also like transitional. It's
Very true.
weird.
All right. Liv Morgan wrestled Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship. Rhea Ripley took the W. Um, I don't think this was the best match that they've had out of all the matches that they had, but the belt's on Rhea again. She overcame the odds. And hopefully this rivalry is over for maybe a hot minute. So,
Oh, it's about to be over because you know who's winning the Rumble.
either Becky or Charlotte.
Yep.
Yeah,
So you know damn well.
yeah. The Liv Morgan revenge tour is officially over.
Although, can we? I mean, superstar of the year in 2024?
Liv Morgan?
Hell yeah.
I low key go for that. anything you want to say about the match?
I mean, the match went just about as what you thought it would go. I mean, it's Rhea finally getting the redemption, Taker bringing his ass out of there.
Getting a pretty big ovation as well.
Yeah, unlike someone else, but but yeah, it went to where it was, and it's funny because I guess Rhea should just keep wrestling in L.A. She might as well just tell her I'm only defending my titles and having title matches in Inglewood because she's 2-0 in Inglewood.
Yeah,
Which is
literally the stadium right next door is SoFi.
SoFi. So I mean, shit, you just might as well just. I guess that's the closest to Australia or some shit. I mean, I don't know, but
I don't have a map in front of me, but I'm pretty sure that's wrong.
I know, but I'm just, yeah, I'm throwing things at the wall, as they say.
I see what you're doing.
But yeah, the right person won. Rhea starts 2025 the way she started 2024. It's just going to be interesting. And there's so many ways that they could go with it because it could be Rhea Charlotte 3, Rhea Becky 2, Rhea Bailey. It opens the floodgates for the potential matchups. Vice Liv, as much as we loved her as champion, her brain was kind of pigeonholed with Rhea,
Right.
if that made sense.
I mean, she only defended it twice, other than Rhea Ripley.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
However, she has the distinction of saying she has more wins over Rhea Ripley in the last year than most had in the last 10. So,
Very true.
she got something out of it.
And Rhea got that really awesome moment where The Undertaker came out for absolutely no reason, drove around the ring, and then did the fist pump in the air with Rhea Ripley, speculating some Undertaker dust on Rhea Ripley. Pretty cool moment. Just, I mean, it made no sense or why it happened, but cool moment.
Made no fucking sense at all. But hey,
People will
what
there
do we
for
know,
it.
right?
And low key, it should have been Roland, not American Badass.
Well, it's Kid Rock. Come on. Yeah.
Huh?
Come on, bro. You knew they were going with Kid Rock. Come on, bro.
No. When I think about American Badass, I think Roland. I do not think American Badass.
Everyone thinks Roland, but everyone also knows that they're, I think Hogan came in. Come on, bro. Come on, bro.
Then we have.
Don't play yourself, bro.
I can't remember if I don't have it in front of me, but I'm not sure when this segment took place. If it came after the Drew McIntyre match, but I think it might have not. I don't remember. So we're just gonna talk about it now. Hulk Hogan came out to promote Real American Beer, and the crowd completely lost their shit. While yes, Monday Night Raw may be red, California is very much a blue state, and that was very clear by their reaction to a one Hulk Hogan.
Which is weird because we were talking about this before the show. Taker was doing the same fucking thing. But Taker didn't come out to talk either. He just rolled it.
Yeah.
he he rolled under Rhea's lap like, yo, let's just get this shit out the way. Let's get this photo op and get the fuck on. But a lot of people probably just tired of holding shit. But Taker also didn't go to the Republican National Convention, and yeah.
He
So
didn't do
yeah,
that.
it's a lot of moving parts there.
Yeah, and I mean, if we're going down the line of things that Hulk Hogan did that um, Undertaker did not, he also didn't say the N word. And we were primarily in Eaglewood as well.
Yeah, and don't get it twisted. As much as they gentrified Inglewood, just go on the other side of the street of the stadium, and it's all hood, homie. But yeah,
Oh yeah,
don't get it twisted.
if you believe that, if anybody out there that's not in California believes that Eaglewood is a gentrified area, literally on the next block away from the Intuit Dome is a crack house. Walking to my car, which was literally across the street from the Intuit Dome, there's literally a bridge that connects it. There was gunfire. That's Eaglewood.
Yeah, don't let that shit fool you.
Yeah, there is no
Dude.
gentrification. It is not a redeemable area of Los Angeles.
I mean, yeah, they trying to mop it up, but she.
Yeah, there's no mopping up that mess, and we know that. Um,
Yeah,
but it was funny to watch, especially being there to all the people booing Hulk Hogan as badly. The fuck you, get out of here, we hate you. Um, but I just thought it was just something that happened on the show. I did not think that was going to be the main talking point and the main takeaway from this show. Which
hell yeah, it was.
It kind of disappoints me because a lot of these guys that are actually there every single week, they put on a, legit banger of a show and they didn't get recognition for it. All we got was "fuck you, Hulk Hogan," when there was a lot of more positivity on the show.
Well, yes, that can be true. Two things can be true at the same time.
But
I mean,
nobody's talking about CM Punk. Nobody's talking about.
yeah, I mean, they were talking about that after ring promo he killed, but I get your point.
Right, nobody's talking about Roman Reigns winning the Ula Fala back, Rhea Ripley winning the title back. It was "fuck you, Hulk Hogan." Not even Hulk Hogan did something on Monday Night Raw. No, it was just "fuck you, Hulk Hogan," and that was the news story. And that's
Well,
really
because he came out there because he came out wrestling. It's weird. We are weird because we'll forgive some shit, but there's some shit where it's no point of no return. In California, and I'm gonna say this. That crowd was not just a California crowd.
That's right. The people that come from all over the world.
New York, Philly, the South. It wasn't just the Philly crowd. It wasn't just the LA crowd.
True.
So, I mean, people may think it's indicative of LA, and to a certain extent, yes. But that crowd was not just an LA crowd.
Right.
But he was the one talking shit, being in the media headlines, getting interviewed for it, and Taker just was like, "Nah, I'm gonna chill in the back."
Yeah. So
Taker just chills in the back.
Well, unfortunately, that's that was the big takeaway, that all the media covered as well. So I mean, it wasn't just the crowd that picked up on it; it was the media as well. But I think I'm ready to get to the next segment. What say you?
Yeah, because if we get too deep in politics, we might get canceled. Let's just.
Yeah, Jey Uso defeated Drew McIntyre. Um, this was legit a great match. Jey Uso came out with Travis Scott. Um, Travis Scott was
Rolling a blunt in the stadium. How the fuck he gets away with that? Like, I just.
yeah, and low key props to Jey Uso for rejecting it and not taking the hit. Um,
I mean, Travis Scott, first person to roll a blunt in a non-smoking building on live television. Now, this is, I mean, if it wasn't for the fact it was on Netflix, this would be up there with the damn near the NWA segment.
oh well, James Mitchell
They,
smoked the cocaine.
yes, it'd be up there, but due to the fact it was on Netflix,
It's okay.
due to the fact that it's legal in California,
Well, I mean, again, look.
and due to the fact that they just let this nigga just walk through, I'm just saying, I'm befuddled because that was my black ass. I get tackled.
Oh yeah. But again, low-key props to Jey Uso for not taking it. Obviously a lot of kids like him, and that's not the right message to send.
He got hella second hand, and I'm gonna tell you right now, there are kids who got their parents smoking weed out here in California. It's about as legal as a headlock.
It's not just uh, California, Kaliko. This was seen in 80 of 90 different countries. Well, maybe that's not an okay thing to do.
Okay. But rest assured, when they get to California, they can smoke the stickiest of the icky. Hell, Snoop Dogg they see Snoop Dogg rolling blunts. Come on, bro.
I thought the match with Drew McIntyre and Jey Uso was good. Made sense.
Didn't see that ending coming though.
Did not see the ending coming, which was added to it. Bonus points to them for that. Everything made sense. Everything worked. No complaints on my side. What say you?
Yeah, it all made. I mean, it shocked me that he won. I mean, I'd be
I did not think
lying
he was gonna win.
because I thought. I mean, to me now, you know what? Never mind. It does make sense because if Jay wins, Roman won, so that means Drew can just go after all of them instead of playing that schizophrenia role, I guess.
Okay.
I mean, because remember, he was low-key talking to Solo, like, I'll let you handle Roman, and then we'll get to the business once we get there.
Right.
But now, since that's not going to happen, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
And that brings us to the last match, the main event, the thing everybody wanted to see. CM Punk defeated Seth Rollins. Perfect match, fantastic match.
Great match.
I don't think anybody expected any less from the two best out there doing it right now. So, great ending.
Great promo after.
Yeah, so I mean, it puts everybody, where does Seth go? Where is Punk going? Whose pat is clearly in front of them? Whose isn't? And I think it's a good.
Oh, it's still blurred. Me personally, I think it's still blurred.
It's still yeah. We can definitely, but we could see, who we're getting places. So we'll
Things
see.
are things are shifting, but the roads are not in stone.
Yes, 100%. Anything you want to add?
You nailed it on the head. Great match. It was a good match, and it told a story. I still don't think that story's over. Um, Especially the way one, the promo went off the week prior, and two, the way that they looked at each other after the match. Because how many times we seen Punk say we're gonna move on, and nope,
True. Very true.
fight. So I think Punk is going to try to get there, and Seth is going to thwart him because of the simple fact that I'd be damned you win a title on my watch, which causes the heel turn that people are hoping to get.
Well, I mean, I feel like in some people's mind, depending on whose point of view you see, Seth is the heel. He already turned heel.
I don't, me personally, I'm just gonna throw this out there. There are no heels and there are no faces. It's just a matter of who do you believe?
Right.
Who do your eyes tell you to believe? Because as much as people were shitting on Kevin, Kevin was right. Kevin wasn't wrong.
Right.
He was not wrong. As much as people shit on Drew, Drew wasn't wrong. And his reasons.
Right. It's just who you believe.
He was justified. Everybody's doing it under a. Here's the thing, and this is what I love about the WWE now. Everything has a hint of justification to where people can actually go, I see it. Yeah, I've been there. Fuck that. Yeah, I believe it too. It doesn't insult your intelligence is what it used to be. Like in the mid teens.
Yeah.
The mid teens, it was insulting our intelligence like a motherfucker.
Oh,
But now everything has that, even if it's a grain, it's enough of a grain where it points in the back of your mind where you can recall to something and it's like, oh yeah, I've been here 3 years helping you out and you'd go do what? Hell yeah, I'd be mad. I'd be ready to whoop your ass. I've been here this long and you've been fucking me over every time of the way. Yeah, I would be mad and stuff. I've been putting in this work this many times. You leave and you shit on people, and then all of a sudden you come back and try to be lovey-dovey in my face. Hell yeah, I'm gonna fuck you up. See, that's the magic. That's the magic. You tore my show. Even with Liv, Liv wasn't wrong.
she was not.
See what I'm saying? People booing the shit out of Liv, and I'm looking like, that bitch got her shoulder fucked up by her. And she came back and got her a piece. And now everybody booing her. Ain't that about a bitch? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty. Nobody's wrong and everyone's justified in why they're doing it, which feels so refreshing to see because you haven't seen shit like that since like the 80s, 90s wrestling. I mean, and I'm talking about like golden era shit. So, I mean, there's no face or no heel. It's just who do your eyes and your emotions tell you to believe?
Um.
Because Because I can bet you your goddamn ass when Cena faces Cody at Mania for the title, and Cena gets that L, you could bet your ass Cody gonna be like, I thought y'all loved me.
This show as a whole, thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle.
Oh man, emotionally thumbs up. I mean, it was wildly inconsistent. I mean, it's gonna sound like we're homers, right? But it's gonna sound like we're homers. The beginning was very inconsistent. Hogan getting booed out the building was a fucking train wreck. That still didn't change the fact that the drama and the stories that were being laid out was superb. The question is, where does it follow up? And how do they follow up? Because now this is, honestly, this is the first time that the first Raw in the last 2 years actually popped off, which tells me that they are revving up that Mania story.
Yeah.
And it's going to be way more important this year because they're not doing, they're shortening the Road to WrestleMania tour. So they really got to make it hit home.
All right. I also give it a thumbs up. Thought it was a good song. All right. I think that will conclude our coverage of the first Raw on Netflix in this episode as a whole. Thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment, both on YouTube and Castbox. This was sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. Join us next week as we join us this Tuesday as we interview Emmy Helen. This Wednesday as we interview Nikki Foxley, and join us every Tuesday and Wednesday for new incredible interviews. Follow the show at Wrestling with Ebon on X, Thread, and Instagram for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and so much more. Follow me personally at JamesG993. Where can we find Kaliko?
I am Kaliko. A shout out Stephanie Vicor, Julia, Oba Femi, new champs, new mid contenders, NXT shifting. Also, Big Booty Bailey versus Tiffy Time, San Diego. SD and SD. Can't wait.
Okay. For Kaliko Yachts and Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hulk Hogan got booed like he was a blood walking into some Crip neighborhood. Boy.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.